Hi, I'm Anne and welcome back to my channel. Here, I just need to spread my legs so I fit to the camera. So today we are going to be doing a tag that I have wanted to do for years, even before I started Booktube. And you know what? It's a great tag and I feel like we should bring it back. So I'm bringing it back today. And the tag is, do I have that book challenge? This was massive over YouTube. I remember like Haley in Bookland and Ariel Bissett and all these different really popular YouTubers doing it at the time. Yeah, now that I'm on Booktube, I should actually do this. I have been tagged in a couple different book tags, so I'm probably going to do book tags more commonly, not that commonly, probably like once a month, once every other month. But I thought it might be fun to see me frantically looking around my bookshelves behind me to find a book that fits the prompt of this tag. Also, since I was just tagged today, but it will be last Tuesday when you see this, by Michael K. Vaughn, I was tagged in the Booktubers I Love Tag, and because it's such a short tag, I'm just going to chalk it on the end of this one. So I will actually do a tag that I was tagged in like less than a week after I was tagged in it. I'm super proud of myself, guys. Okay, my camera's in a weird position, and I don't know how much my mic is picking up my sound, but I'm going to be like looking around my two bookshelves. There's also a bookshelf over here in that direction, which you can't see, but it's also a mess, so I wouldn't want you to see it. So I have more books, but these are like my main two bookshelves, and they're very dusty, and just ignore the dust if you can see it on the camera. I hope you can't. All right, number one. Do you have a book with deckled edges? I did actually find one. I didn't think I would. Second book of The Sorcery in Cecilia and the Magic Chocolate Pot. This is basically a Regency romance novel, but it's set in these group of letters that's written between these two authors who actually wrote these letters to each other in real life, but in fictional characters. I love this series so much. I got into it with my sister when I was probably about 13 or 14. They have 3 books in the series. I have all 3 of them, but it does have deckled edges. I didn't know if I had any books with deckled edges, but there you go. Do you have a book with 3 or more people on the cover? Ooh. Oh! Actually, I can think of one automatically now. Pretty sure. Yes. Yes, my version of Crime and Punishment does indeed have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people on the cover. It might be my favorite book ever. It's at least in the top 10. Do you have a book based on another fictional story? Ooh. I have The Frog Princess, which is in turn based on the fairy tale The Frog Prince. It's like a twist to the typical like Frog Prince story where the princess kisses the frog, but instead of turning him into the prince, she ends up getting turned into a frog, and the 2 frogs, the prince and the princess, have to go on an adventure to, I don't know, figure out how to get back to being humans. Number 4. Do you have a book with the title 10 letters long? Wait, 10 letters isn't even that long, guys. Come on. I'll just pull like the top one off my shelf and just go with The Tales of Greek Heroes because I'm too lazy to pick like something on the bottom of a pile. Do you have a book that starts and ends with the same letter? This might be actually difficult. Ripper. I still have not read this book. It's like story about murders that are taking place in the modern day that are similar to those of Jack the Ripper 100 years ago. I haven't read it yet, but you have R and R. Do you have a mass market paperback book? I'm sure I do. What counts as a mass market paperback book? I mean, I have a lot of little ones, but I'm just going to go with And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I think this would count as a mass market paperback book. I think the main difference between like a mass market paperback book and just like a regular paperback book is the size is much more condensed, so I'm hoping this is right. Do you have a book by an author using a pen name? Lavender blue, dilly dilly, lavender blue. Found this. Elizabeth Peters mystery series she wrote about like the 1800s, this archaeological duo. It's like a cozy historical mystery, basically, series. This is the first 3 books. And Elizabeth Peters is the pen name for Barbara Mertz. She was actually a very avid Egyptologist in the 50s to 90s. Do you have a book with a character's name in the title? Oh. Yeah. This was the first one I found. Captain Blood by Raphael Sabatini. Great book. I've talked about this on my channel before. So. Do you have a book with 2 maps in it? 2 maps. Ooh. I'll just do Lord of the Rings. It has several maps in the back, like multiple pages of them. And Lord of the Rings was one of the first like maps that I would love to look at. Even before I read the book when I was a child, I would look at the maps in like The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and I just love them so much. Number 10, do you have a book that it was turned into a TV show? Oh, I'm not sure if this counts. I'm currently reading this, War and Peace, but it was turned into a BBC miniseries. That counts as a TV show. I'm gonna count it. Number 11, do you have a book that is written by someone who is originally famous for something else? I don't know if this is like a cop-out or not, but 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson wrote this book after he became very famous for like some of his controversial opinions in Canada. I won't get into it because even if you disagree with like some of the things that he said politically, his psychology background is just incredible. You watch some of his lectures from Harvard and they're just amazing. Number 12, do you have a book with a clock on the cover? You would think this one would be easier to answer, but I don't know if I have any book with a clock on it. Well, I may have a book with a clock on it, but I can't see it, so we're just going to move on. Number 13, do you have a poetry book? This one I can't answer. I don't have many poetry books. I don't like poetry all that much, but I do have a treasury of the best loved poems. I've had this since I was a child, probably like 12 or something. My mom got this for me, and it has a lot of the very famous poems. This was actually where I first read The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Number 14, do you have a book with an award stamp on it? Ooh, I'm sure I do. Oh, I can actually think of one. Here, I have Ella Enchanted, and it has the tag of the Newbery Honor book. I thought I had another one of these, like from my childhood books, but I couldn't find any other ones. So this will have to do. Number 15, do you have a book by an author with the same initials as you? So my initials are A and M. So I don't know if I do. Oh, yes. Yes. I found it. Okay. Here. Anne McCaffrey. A.M. Dragonflight. I'm so glad I actually kept this book because I was considering getting rid of it because I don't think I'm going to continue on in the series, but I'm so glad I didn't because yay, and now I'm kneeling, so I'm a lot shorter, so yeah. Do you have a book of short stories? Actually, most of these are all short stories. I have Sherlock Holmes, I have H.P. Lovecraft, I have American Gothic short stories, I have Chinese myth stories, I have Grimm fairy tales, I have Norton's Anthology of English Literature. I have the Oxford Book of Detective Stories. So yeah, like all this entire thing is just like short stories. Number 17, do you have a book between 500 and 510 pages long? Ooh, that's hard because that's like very tight range. Found it. The Robe is 508 pages. Yay! Oh, I was so worried that I wouldn't find it. And now, like, my whole bookshelf is just, like, absolute chaos. Number 18, do you have a book that was turned into a movie? I have many books. Many books. You have, like, War and Peace. I already picked that. Here. Let's do Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell because I already got it out thinking it was about 500 pages, so it works. Number 19, do you have a graphic novel? I have this series, which is like series sequel to the Labyrinth movie with Bowie in the 86, I think the movie came out. I am actually getting rid of this, so but I've all 4 books in this series. Do you have a book written by 2 or more authors? Yeah, I do. I mean, I already picked out one, but I'll pick out another one. I haven't talked about this book in a while, which is why I'm going to talk about it now. It's The Explorer's Guild, which is possibly my favorite book of all time, just because it's so cool. This is by John Bard and Kevin Costner. Yes, the actor Kevin Costner. It's like half graphic novel, half novel. The pages are like very old looking, meant to look distressed, and it is an amazing book. It's like 800 pages, but it reads rather quickly, but it is by 2 authors, and I don't talk about this book enough because I think it's such an underhyped book and everyone needs to read this. And there is the book tag. I finished it. I did it. I'm so tired and like sweaty. Running around my room looking for books is not conducive to relaxation, okay? So I'm going to tag 5 people who are kind of my 5 fave booktubers currently, but don't feel an obligation to do it, guys. If you don't want to do it, I won't be offended if you're like, yeah, I don't have time to do this, okay? First one is Gina Stanier Books. She has so many like cozies that I'd love to see what her answers would be to these prompts. The next one is Michelle Lexi. I've started watching her channel more recently and it's just such a fun channel. Besides, she has a very gorgeous Australian accent. Yes, I'm one of those people that loves like the British, Australian, South African, New Zealand accents. I just love them all. Next one is Miss Reads a Lot. She is reading down 1,000 books to read before you die. I think she is a masochist for doing that, but you know, if she's having fun, you go, girl. And the last one is Shelley Swearengin, who is possibly the sweetest person in the world, and I have been loving her channel recently. She's been doing more like vlog style booktube content, and I've been loving it. And the last one is Michael K. Vaughan, because he actually tagged me in another book tag, and the tag that Michael K. Vaughan tagged me for is the Booktubers I Love tag. So I'm just going to do that real quick because it has like 6 prompts, so it's going to be shorter. So the first prompt is, who was the first booktuber you were subscribed to? And I'm pretty sure that was Lily C. Reads. She has a bigger channel, but through her, I discovered the world of booktube, and it was so random. I had her recommended about 3 or 4 years ago to me, and yeah, she was doing a rant review, and I used to love watching rant reviews. So who is the most recent booktuber you subscribed to? And I'm pretty sure that's Michelle Lexi, even though I've been subscribed to her for a while now. I don't think I've subscribed to anyone past her. I've just been so busy with school, I just haven't had time. Name 3 booktubers you love / want to give a shout out to. Again, I'm gonna do the ones that I just did. We've got Gina Stanier Books, Shelley Swearengin, you have Lady Jane Books. There's so many great ones. It's hard for me to like limit it down. If you could meet a booktuber right now, who would it be? I'm not sure. Like pretty much everyone that I watch on YouTube, I'd love to like get together and just like talk about books. Maybe Shelley Swearengin, just because she's so sweet. Another good one is Katrina Brown, because she loves horror and everything spooky, and I'd love to get together with her and just like talk spooky reads, because spooky reads are not what I read as normally, and she just reads it all year round, so I would love recommendations from her. And who is your favorite YouTuber who is not a booktuber? And I don't really have one. I watch some bigger YouTube channels. Cara and Nate are travel vloggers, and I've been watching them for years now, and I love their channel so much, but they're bigger YouTuber. And it next says tag 14 booktubers. I'm not going to tag all of them, okay? Because especially since this is a chalk on to another video. And again, name 5 booktubers who are inactive that you would like to see come back. And I'm not going to like call anybody out, but there are quite a few booktubers that either don't post very often, like they post once a month, both big and small YouTubers. And then there's some that are on my subscription list that when I subscribed to them, they were more active and they have not posted since then. So this could be like 6 months to a year and they haven't posted. And I'm like, where are you? I enjoyed your content. I would like you to come back. But I also realized that life is super busy, and I myself am super busy too. So I can't blame them. So there's my tags. Everyone who wants to be tagged, okay, because this is chaos, is tagged. I'm very uncomfortable standing like this, because if I stood normally, I'd be like this, and this would be the entire video, like you just watching me way high up, and that would be awkward, right? So, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like, subscribe. I post every Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and I will see you all next week for a new video. Bye!